Louise, girl? Down in Chaguaramas?
Down in Chaguaramas, picnic basket. We have doubles.
What?
And we also have donuts too,
Donuts?
Yeah.
Easy, well. Beautiful boy. Beautiful morning.
Yeah, indeed. Beautiful to be out by the ocean. It's not a nice place for swimming, but to just be by the ocean is quite good.
Yeah. Hey, thank you very much. You saw me through to the doctor this morning. I got a good heart report, thank you. And I see you prepare. One thing about you, Louis, when you're going out, you just make a picnic of things, Bananas, pineapple, trail mix, apples, oranges.
Most important, water and doubles. You know how you like your doubles?
Hey, Papa.
Doubles and donuts as well.
Donut boy.
Yeah.
Hey, Louis, you know what these donuts remind me of, girl? You see that big hole in the center there?
Yeah.
That reminds me of the Pacific hole.
Oh gosh, boy, we by the ocean and you think about Pacific hole? Oh gosh, Lancy, man.
But what do you know about the Pacific hole anyway?
Well, you keep telling me to have a hole in the Pacific and that could cause earthquake and serious repercussion.
Right.
But I say that is quite in the Pacific, all up Oregon, California and thing. Those people are even talking about it and you in Trinidad here thinking about this Pacific hole.
Well, let me tell you something. When I'm traveling, I like to find out all kind of things about what is going on in the country. Yeah? And to tell you the truth, and if you take for instance when we went to Hawaii,
yeah,
I like to do a background. But you know something, I went to Hawaii, how many years ago?
5 years.
5 years ago I went to my Hawaii. And would you believe I never considered anything about volcano. Went there very, very happy. And 2 weeks after
when we
Hawaii,
left,
big eruption.
Yeah, boy.
A fella like me, girl, who always scared of all kind of earthquake and tornado and all kind of things. it kind of rough, boy.
And what about when we were in Oregon and we driving up from Portland to Oregon, where those first set of people who went to Oregon looking for gold.
Oh, the Oregon Trail.
The Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
And we overnighting. I could still see Tammy and Bernie. We in the trailer to sleep at night, and their boat driving for hundreds of miles. And until it got to the lake, it was only driving on the road. And we stopped to sleep over at different parks. And this night we stopped off, man. When we went to the bathroom, there's a sign, cougar. Cougar could be on the park.
Well, I tell you the truth.
And it's telling you how to, if it's approaching you, don't run, dance.
Dance.
I tell Tammy, I said, Tammy, if Lance only know it a cougar in this park here tonight, he telling us, let's get out of here, you know.
Of course, girl.
She said, well, we won't tell him anything until in the morning when he comes to the bathroom, he will find out.
Aye. So we just see all the birds coming in here. And them little birds, they ain't easy, you know.
Well, they seafood, you know.
Yeah, they see food. They see bananas, pineapple. They come in for doubles too, you know. Look to your left there, see one. Yeah. But don't feel it, you know. If you feel it right now, we gotta move, we gotta run.
We'll be in trouble.
But let me go back a little bit to this specific hole.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say that it is leaking warm water, 9 degrees hotter than the average ocean water. It's bubbling.
It's delicious.
So, I talking to you about a serious matter, you talking about doubles? I talking about bubbles, you talking about doubles?
Well, bubbles sound like doubles.
But anyway, and this thing is only about 80 kilometers off the shore. Because the California and Oregon shore. Imagine we went to California and all, a place that is supposed to be hit. They expected over the last 300 years.
And we were there 5 years ago.
5 years ago. I mean, sometimes you get drafted in because of the holidays, food and things.
Well, boy, you know me.
Yeah.
I don't worry about those things.
Yeah.
You always bring in the balance, which from one extreme in my thinking to the other extreme in your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So then we find a balance. Because if you worry about those things, you will never travel.
Mm-hmm.
You'll come like this story where the woman who thinking about this axe will fall on her head and cut off her head. And her children's head will be cut off too. And the axe never fall. So you can.
She was the other head of the axe trade.
You cannot afford to worry yourself. You just have to do what you have to do. God guided, and you can't worry yourself. But we live in these times and all these terrible situations turning up. But you cannot live in fear.
Right.
So what's your concern about it?
No. I was just kind of doing a little study on this this leaking hole.
Uh-huh.
Somehow the next, I kind of it's a scary hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it is leaking what you think to be lubricant between the tectonic plates.
Yeah.
The thing that keeps it, afloat like. I don't know if I'm scientifically correct.
Mm-hmm.
But this lubricant, it comes like something, in your bone, the fluid in your bones, in your vertebrae, they kind of lessen and you have more friction between the bone, right?
Right, leaking.
Right. So this thing is leaking. If it's leaking, that means to say there will be more pressure between the plates.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There will be more friction, and therefore you could have a 9.0 plus
Earthquake.
That would throw they estimate that to throw a 30 meter, that is about how much? About 90 feet.
Mm-hmm.
A wave that will touch
All over the world.
Yeah, it will reach Japan. It will hit Oregon. And imagine we went to Oregon and we were up there in a farmer's, what do you call it? A farmer's market.
Mm-hmm.
And
near the coast.
On the coast. And I was looking at this from the farmer's market. I was looking at the sea. And then they took us, Tammy and Bernie took us to some
sailing.
relatives. Oh no, well we went out sailing, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
In the harbor there, I wasn't happy about that because when they turned
when they turned that boat, boy.
I shouldn't say old boat, but when they turned the boat, I could actually feel the water on my elbow. Right? And then, Louis, we drove along the shore and I saw tsunami signs.
Yeah.
And it was eye level with the sea. And I said, Papa, imagine a tsunami coming in here and we up here. But I didn't pay much mind. Now that I think about it, I just kind of overlooked the whole.
You're there already?
Yeah.
And laughing and Lou enjoying her holidays, so
Right.
you couldn't afford to get distracted by that.
Right. But I tell you, this question about they said this hole was discerned by the sonar system of a ship.
Mm-hmm.
The sound system of this ship was able to pick up the bubbling, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking the likelihood of what is happening out there in the Pacific Ocean to a marriage that is in trouble.
They seem to have a lot of similarities.
Yeah, the bubbling songs, right? Okay, the bubbling that is coming up. Let's take, for instance, in a marriage,
Mm-hmm.
right? And maybe you might be better able to explain this as a woman.
Yeah.
Because women are the ones who really are very affected in marriage when it really go bad. A man might get up and walk away. You know, he might be abusive. But say what? A woman really feels the squeeze.
Yeah.
And you have these bubbling signs. Okay? It's something kind of far-fetched, but let's take, for instance, little grumblings between a husband and wife.
Yeah.
Okay? Little grumblings between a husband and wife.
It's a telltale sign.
It's like a telltale sign, right? And the same way these scientists were able to pick up what these bubbles are doing out in the Pacific. Your marriage, you know, the way you greet each other in the morning, during the course of the day, a subject comes up that you need to look after in the home, right? But there's little tremblings, little tremors, right? What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, I really believe that there are telltale signs, and if one is aware of these telltale signs of little grumblings, as you say, little signals, persons seem to lose their joy, they snapping easily, they quarrelsome, could be man or woman. Sometimes it's the woman giving that kind of trouble, sometimes it's the man. Because it's not only one person causes problem. Wives give trouble, men give trouble. But it is, if you want your marriage to work and to live, for you to live in harmony, because remember, when a marriage go sour, the most affected person in that marriage is the children.
The children?
Yeah. Because people have a way, adults have a way that they could move on. It's not hard for a man who looking good and charming to pick up another woman. And if a woman looking good, it's not hard for her to pick up a man. Even if it may not be long-standing relationship, but they're moving on. But children are the ones who are torn between their parents. They love their father, they love their mother. When separation comes, okay, the court will rule and say, okay, visiting rights for the father. Monday to Friday you're with your mother, Saturday and Sunday you're with your father. And the poor father, he is not much of a homemaker, because the homemaker is the woman. You will see fathers, I have seen fathers, people of high standing, doctors, different ones. You see them in the restaurant with the children. They take them out to TGI Friday on a Friday night. And nobody looking happy. The children, they're happy to be with their father, but missing their mother, and vice versa. The weekend from their mother is too long, so they start to be anxious, they want to go back home. The father doing his best to give them a nice time. But you need both parents. So the most affected person, in my opinion, is that the children are the affected ones. So parents, when parents got married, forgetting the children for the time being, they married to have a life, to really share their lives together. I often wonder what went wrong, what really goes wrong, that marriage, people become enemies by the time they divorce. They don't want to hear or see each other. I mean, foreigners seem to handle these things better than we do. They could still be friends. They recognize, okay, we're not getting along, and you move on, I move on, and we could still be, civil to each other. But somehow, to me, Caribbean women are different. Maybe you're so hurt in the process that you become angry and you can't get past the anger. So, but before you reach the stage of divorce and separation, things just break down more and more. The quarreling, the dissatisfaction, the insecurity, you know. These are warning signals. And really and truly, when this start happening, you have to have some kind of discussion with each other. You know, you don't wait too late till, you know, total breakdown take place. You know, I remember some years ago, maybe 20 years ago, this young girl had got married, and about a month after the wedding, for the first month she was really happy, and she thought that marriage was wonderful. And one day she came to work and she says, "I would like to speak to you." And she looked really distressed. And I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "Things are not the same with my husband and I." I says, "How long have you been noticing that?" She said, "Oh, things are really good in the first 2 or 3 weeks. But now I find that, you know, there isn't the happiness and the joy we had." So I said, "Well, you know, you need to talk to him. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's not the marriage. But it could be adjustments, you know. Some young people have a lot of adjustments. You come from different cultures, different backgrounds. So it is better to talk about it." And she spoke to him and she came back and she said she was really glad that they chatted about it, and, you know, there's a few things that need to be ironed out. Because many times it's just that people are different, you know. People are different. And what is very important to one is not important to the other one. As I always like to go back to that book, The Love Language, the 5 love languages. And people are really different. And we have to recognize what makes our partner happy and what makes them unhappy and what causes them.
Well, that comes like the Sona song there.
Yes.
You know, you're sounding out your partner. You're finding out why there's this little bubble.
Right.
And therefore, you know, maybe something could be done. You may not be able to cap the hole in the Pacific.
No.
But you might be able to cap the hole in your marriage.
Yeah. You know, take time out. Maybe you got too busy. You got too busy with the responsibility of marriage and children. It's a lot of responsibility. But you have to take time out with your partner. Taking an evening out to go to a restaurant or to just go for a drive.
Go to the gardens. I see a lot of people going to the gardens.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't mean you're neglecting your children, but you need to make sure that your relationship is intact.
keep the romance in the marriage.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm very happy for all those who commented and saying that, you know, they're just 19 years into the marriage. They look forward to more. Those who are in 40 years and those who are
over 52, yeah.
Somebody wrote saying, "I'm sorry that I don't have the name at the moment." And it's not easy to pull it up at this point. But we want to congratulate those who, you know, have a marriage going that they treasure.
Yeah, indeed.
They are an example of stability.
Yes.
Even if there are problems, they are plodding on.
There are problems because, as I say, misunderstanding most times.
Of course.
Most times it's misunderstandings. But if you don't deal with the misunderstanding, you perpetuate the problem.
That is correct. And it escalates too.
That's right.
But then too, Louise, you know, you think of a tsunami, the Pacific tsunami if it comes.
Yeah.
And it goes 3 miles inland. To tell you how it affects communities, it affects the coastal. A broken marriage does the same.
Of course.
You have sisters and brothers who are affected.
Yes.
by a marriage that is going bad.
Of course.
You know?
So it affects everyone, especially when it's a close-knitted family.
That's right.
Everyone is affected. So when these plates in the Pacific start to be affected and the earthquake comes, that's like the divorce in the marriage.
Yeah.
You know?
And
then
so
the repercussion after now,
that's
the
right,
tsunami.
the repercussions.
So it's very similar.
Yeah.
The whole in the Pacific could be, compared with marriage and what happens, all the different problems that would come up, and it could have been worked on
Yeah, that's
while
right.
there was love.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much for this little picnic, Louise.
Well, the picnic has not yet started.
Yes, but we will start it soon. You know, this morning when you were paying...
And yes, the donuts.
Oh, yes, the donuts. Oh, let's see
The
about
whole
the donuts.
in the Pacific.
The donuts. Where the donuts are? Let me see that. Because that gave me the idea yesterday when we were in the mall. Hey, I wonder if Louise should buy me a donut. It looks so much... Bring it, let me see it, Louise.
The whole in the Pacific.
My goodness. That's like the hole in the Pacific. But the one in the Pacific is not as colorful as this. Thank you very much. We will have just a nibble of that though.
Nibble?
Less our sugar. It's the top of the it's the sky.
Sweet
Oh my goodness.
and
Louise.
delicious.
I hope you take your diabetic medicine. Don't let this picnic be the last of you, know.
Have a bite, man.
You know, Louise, when you were paying this morning, thank you. When you were paying this morning, I stood up there while you were at the cashier there, and a tear came to my eye, maybe more than one.
What? I will say, what kind of, just one tear?
Yeah, tears came to my eyes really. I thought of all the years since my heart attack and even long before, the last 50-something years. Thank you. You remember the fella in the movie, man? He was obsessed with this, what do you call it? OCD? And he's talking to a guy who's eating a hamburger, and the guy has mustard and ketchup all around his lip. And he's tempted to reach across
And wipe it?
and wipe it, Every moment he does this, you can see he want to lunge forward and wipe this mustard and ketchup off the man's lip.
Oh my goodness, that's a terrible thing, that OCD business. All them things that cause problems in marriage,
Yes.
To live with someone with OCD is not an easy thing.
No. And then
I'm glad you didn't have OCD though. And me worse.
You see, Louise, I'll tell you the truth. When you were paying that money this morning,
Yes, huh?
I was
Just crying for how much money I paid?
No. I wasn't crying for the amount of money you paid. I was moved to a little tear, when I say, oh gosh, boy, this woman is a selfless person. This woman is a real selfless woman. She does so much, not only for me, but for others. Because she really loves people, and she wouldn't want to hurt people. And girl, it was very fortunate that you married me. That I married you.
No, fortunate I marry you too. Yes. If I have to do it again, I'll do it all over.
Yes. That's nice.
Yes.
But it was a long stretch, huh?
Yes, I was 19 when you met me.
Yeah, going on 19. You weren't quite 19 yet.
Imagine that. And
And
now
I
I
have
am
turned 21.
71.
71.
50 years.
Yes. Down here is beautiful, Yeah, it's beautiful down there.
Yeah, it's a good change. We haven't been down this way for maybe more than 2 years.
So, Louise, as you were saying about marriage, it's nice when you have friends who might be able to put it. People don't like to get involved in other people's business, huh? To tell you the truth.
Yeah.
they kind of shy away from making comments.
Because they get in trouble sometimes.
Yeah, they do get into trouble sometimes. But you know, it's nice when somebody could step up. Better yet, it's nice when you who are affected in the marriage could come forward and say, hey, I have a problem. I can trust you. Help me with this.
Yeah.
You know? And it needn't be a costly psychologist or psychiatric.
No, it's just a trusted friend.
A trusted friend, you know?
Someone who is very practical.
Yeah.
And will not take sides.
That's right.
A balanced person.
Yeah.
Someone who can listen to both sides of the story and be able to say, this was wrong, you should not have done this, you should not have said this. Because sometimes people do things and they don't even realize the implication, you know.
That's right.
Until when you really highlight it to them that, I mean, that was not a nice, kind thing to say. And sometimes in marriage, I think one of the very bad thing is when each person feel they have to get even with the other one.
Oh, no.
You tell me tit, I tell you tat. You say fat, I say rat. You know? And each one trying to hurt one more than the other. How could you be so mean and say mean things to each other, and how you starting to reconcile? You know, sometimes somebody fly off the handle. You might say something to a partner and they fly off the handle and react.
Right.
But that is something the person could quickly and easily say, I'm sorry for my reaction.
Definitely.
But I know I'm under a little stress. Don't hold it against me. You know, that helps. But I tell you something and you tell me back something and I tell you back something, and worse yet, when you see two people quarreling and they bring in your mother and your father and your brother and your sister, why is that?
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Why, if you and I have a misunderstanding over something trivial, you just differ in an opinion,
Yeah.
and that little difference, your mother come in the story, your father come in the story.
Even if they did it.
Yeah. You know, I remember someone telling me once that, you know, she and her husband had a quarrel. And she tell him off, man, and she cuss him. And she tell him about his mother. And when he tell her, my mother used to always tell me about you, you know. My mother used to tell me, she used to warn me about you. And, oh God, she cussed up the poor dead mother. And I said to her, girl, you know your husband could be joking. You know, because he know that mothers-in-law, there's something about mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. There's something about mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. I don't understand it. I don't understand what about mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. They could very easily misunderstand each other and get into heated issues. Fathers-in-law and mother and daughters-in-law or son-in-law, they don't really have much problem. But something about your mother, it
Sometimes
just...
women can be insecure.
Yeah.
In how I treat my husband, my mother's probably looking on, you know. And you begin to imagine all kinds of things. You know, this woman might be thinking that I'm not feeding my husband on time, I'm not taking good care of the kids. And therefore resentment and an antagonism builds.
Yeah. And sometimes, I'm not saying no, that there are some mothers-in-law who want to control. That is not correct, and I hope that I had never been guilty
Okay, go ahead.
of controlling my sons or daughter. I really hope. And if I did, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's offended with you, so you better go on with the other subject.
So, but really and truly, there's a mothers and family should not come into the equation when a husband and wife is quarreling. I strongly feel that is unnecessary. You all have an issue to deal with that issue. You're bringing a third and a fourth person, you're bringing in more warfare.
More ammunition for war.
More ammunition for war. When it is a simple misunderstanding, talk about that and get to the root of the problem and move on.
Right.
You know?
And Louise, you know, when marriages are affected, I mean, you and I are retired, but when marriages are affected, people on the job, their performance drops, you know.
Of course, Nancy.
You know, their performance drops, and colleagues will notice, you know. And here, it is not only at the ground level, you know. If you are a board member of a state company even, or a major company, a conglomerate, you realize that your performance will be affected, it will be noticed, and in a little while, you mightn't be a board member anymore, you know.
Yeah.
You might be a board member. Right? So
Yeah.
that's how it goes in life.
Relationship is important, and they say that marriage is like a garden. You
Like
have
a
to
garden.
tend to it every day, and every day in our marriage we need to see whether we have hurt our partner or have we said something that we should not have said, and it's no harm to say we're sorry for something that was wrong.
That's right. You know,
That's
your
a
marriage,
key
you know,
thing,
if you
to
don't
be able
careful
to
with
say
your
you're
marriage,
sorry.
You see that wreck there, Louise?
Yes.
Huh?
Shipwreck.
Shipwreck.
Yeah.
That's always going to be a shipwreck.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you what. Thank you very much for your discourse. Appreciate it again. We hope that Pacific hole somehow in the next phases out. I don't know how they can stop it. But we are about wholesome marriages,
That's right.
you know.
Wholesome
We want
marriage.
wholesome marriages. Stop the bubbles, stop the leaks. You know, no threats,
No frictions.
no friction,
No undercurrent.
no undercurrent, and therefore we can proceed now. Everyone, we're glad for that man who called the other day, and I regret not remembering his wife's name. Tony Sergio.
Tony Sergio and
Is it Sha? Oh, I hate to pronounce a word and
Yes.
it will be wrong.
but they are in New York, and we really appreciate you all reaching out to meet us, and it was just a pleasure talking to you, Tony, and Shakira, is it? I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure, but
Yes.
please excuse us.
You know, a little memory loss.
And then we also have Lisa and Kumar from San Juan.
Yes, Kumar explained to us, if you want to remember his name, think about Kurma.
Kuma.
So Lisa and Kumar, it was nice chatting with you all as well. All the best to all our dear friends. We love you all. And closing on those leaks.
Thank you very much.